Got a question here from Mark, and this one might be a bit detailed heavy, so I do apologise, but I think it's important because we get asked this question a lot, not only from people submitting questions, but also just people following along. So I'm interested in investing in Victoria. However, the land tax just puts me off it. Why would you not invest elsewhere? So there's a few things here. So I guess firstly, the land tax isn't specific to Victoria. There is land tax in just about every state across the country. I've taken some states out of there which we don't purchase in. Northern Territory we don't purchase in as a general rule of thumb. The only good thing about Northern Territory is that there is no land tax in Northern Territory, whether what structure you're buying in. But so I've taken that out. I haven't included ACT. But if you take a look here, if you're buying in your personal name, so it all depends on the threshold. So you'll see up there in New South Wales, for this scenario, I've only included what it would cost if you're buying a property that has $300,000, $500,000 or $700,000 of land value. So there's just something to really kind of preface there. We're not talking about the value of the house. We're talking about the value of the land. Now, that normally comes to you with your rates notice. You'll get a couple of things in there. It'll say site value and it'll say land or a capital approved value. So the lesser amount will be the land value, and that's what you are being calculated on your tax rate for. Now, this is based off an individual. I'm not going to preface off the top of my head to say that I know state by state whether they split it per couple. In general, they do. So let's just say you had $700,000 worth of land in Queensland, but it was a joint venture between you and your partner and it's 50-50. Well, technically you wouldn't actually be above the threshold here. You'd be under that because it's $350 each. So you're not actually paying any land tax. But if it was in your own name, you would be. Now, where the big, I guess, kerfuffle is for Victoria is that you can see here, the land tax threshold is it's essentially $50,000 if you're buying in your personal name. So the minute you hold a property in Victoria, you're going to be paying land tax, and then it just becomes on what the dollar figure is. So for most people, we ran through it before, $546,000 is the median price in which we're purchasing. The land value is probably around about $300,000. So your land tax is going to be $1,350 per year. That will go up in value a little bit as time goes on. If that doubles in value, your bill's going to go from $1,300 to $2,800. For me, as an investor, I'm interested in capital growth. If you're going to tell me I have to just pay you $1,500 a year to get that capital growth, I will gladly take it out of my wallet for you each and every day to pay that bill. But there's some other things to keep in mind. You can also see here, Tasmania's already got land tax. Western Australia has it. All the states have it. It just depends on the threshold. But also to keep in mind, some running costs in each state are different as well. So in Queensland, council rates, water rates, insurances, and in particular property management fees as well are more expensive than what you'll find in Victoria. So this difference that you might see here, you might make a large portion, if not all of that back through those differences. Because I know like people who are investing in far north Queensland, they're paying $3,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 per annum in insurance. I had a property that I was looking at purchasing here in Victoria. The insurance came back at $1,500. And that was me adding every single bell and whistle onto that insurance claim. So I've potentially saved that from the land tax component already straight away there, let alone I haven't even touched on council or water rates yet. And I haven't touched on property management fees because in general in Queensland, property management fees are around that kind of 8 to 10% number. I know in Victoria, I can get them down to 6 to 7.5% in most locations, sometimes less, right? So it's about your total running costs. The other thing to keep in mind, and it's not just a Victoria, Queensland thing as well, WA has extremely expensive property management. Same thing can be also said for insurances. But then if you're buying in a trust, for example, if say you're coming in, I had to squeeze this in. If you're buying in a trust, and I guess for full transparency, these trust figures might not be 100% accurate. I ran out of time preparing the numbers for the trust side of things. So I just want to be really, really transparent there. I did do this exercise with a client last week. So I know some of them are accurate, but I don't know about state by state because I didn't get the time to do it. ChatGPT may have helped me out there for full transparency. But you will see here that essentially in trusts in each state. So if you're buying a property through your super or you're buying it through a trust structure, your tax rate is higher, and in general, they either have no or a much lower threshold per state. So you can see here in Victoria, you're going to pay some tax, but it's going to be the exact same pretty much down here in South Australia. The only real state, so Northern Territory doesn't count. Sorry, Northern Territory people. But the only real state here that's kind of letting you off the hook is WA. And again, I haven't verified 100% that I'm comfortable with the numbers that they're presenting there, though I have looked previously, and I think it is significantly lower. So wherever it is, it's a toll that you're going to pay it. What is known to be the harshest state in the country on land tax is by far New South Wales. I've had a specific client of ours. I think we've done a video on him previously. He came in and he sold about $2.5 million worth of property in New South Wales because he was paying such a high land tax bill. So we helped him reduce that and diversify across the country. But in general, depending on the structure, you're going to pay land tax. And over here, it's going to be, as the value increases of land, again, we should be probably happy if we get to the land tax stage because it means our properties have grown in value. But it's going to be something that you pay everywhere. And I hope that answers your question as well. But so thanks for thinking that one through.